Yeah, yeah. Hey, what's up, my peeps? It's your boy Mac Mans. I want to welcome you to the last sip. Before we always get the party started, I will let you know I never spill the tea, but I do take the last sip. And today's last sip is going to be some of this splash refreshener. Take a little sip of this. Applause for the water. Once again, some applause for the water, please. Now, this splash refreshener is something I got from Dollar Tree. I don't do a lot of flavored water. I'm a spring water guy, but I do. I went ahead and grabbed the splash because it has a hint of wild berry, and you actually taste the wild berry, which is so cool. But I want to thank y'all who all tuned in to see me today here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live. I want to thank you. Let me give you a cheer. Thank y'all very much. Today's show, man, I have some important subjects. As I was speaking to a couple of my friends earlier today, I'm about to ruffle some feathers. It's going to be some feathers ruffled today. That's for sure. That is for sure. Because I got a little bit irritated with what was happening and going on in society. And so I decided to speak on it. And that's why I do here at the last sip. I never spill tea, but I do hit on some issues that are hitting us as people and society as a whole. So, it's all about that right now. This is a special moment. Hold on, I'm gonna take a phone call real quick before I start the podcast. I got a phone call from one of my children. My daughter just called. I think she went ahead and let go right there. But y'all, we're dealing with some serious things going on at this time. And right now, I'm one of the people dealing with these issues. I'm in the middle. That's my first subject, the middle. See, what's going on in society right now is we have the people that are sitting at the top echelon and the bottom, and the people in the middle are getting lost. Those who have money and who control every aspect of life as it is, as far as financially, tend not to want to pay attention to those in the middle. And those who are at the bottom, who are dealing with issues as far as poverty and not enough housing and hunger and starving, they have no way of getting to the middle without someone giving them a hand. And usually if somebody gives them a hand, it's someone from the upper echelon. Now I'm going to tell you how all this works. When you are on the upper echelon and you have things the way you want them, or you have things the way society has placed you in an area to where you're on top of the kettle, you tend not to look down to see what's below you, because that either reminds you of where you could be if you don't stay on top, or to a certain point you think that might hinder you. When you're on the bottom, your hopes are so low that if you try to climb to the middle and you get popped on something, you fall down and refuse to get back up. The people in the middle get stuck because we're the ones that no one ever pays attention to. When they go through all these elections and all these meetings and things of that nature that decide what's going to happen for government or finances or city ordinances, either the poor get helped or the upper crust get helped, but the middle is forgotten. Because you're in the middle, they tend to think that, okay, you're in the middle, you're floating, okay, that's all you need. You're one step away from getting to the top, or you're one step away from falling to the bottom. But until that time comes, you'll be okay. See, I'm stuck in the middle. See, I don't make enough money to get insurance for my job. I can't afford that insurance, the insurance I need. But I make too much money for the government to give me any insurance. I know people now that need help with food in their homes and they can't get the food in their homes because they made $2 or $3 more than what the government said they could make and able to get those subsidies. Housing authorities don't help those who are attempting to work a job and do better for themselves, because if you can pay a bill, you can pay your rent. Regardless if you're making a bare minimum. When you're in the middle, no one's looking out for the middle person. As I was speaking to someone earlier today, I said, if you look at social media right now, look at the people that are making the most sense. The people who have been speaking the truth, who have been hitting this situation in the head like a hammer to a nail, who have always came out and spoke the words or spoke their piece, are the ones with the less views, less followers, and less backing. Because you're dangerous. Because you see things as a different aspect. Remember, you're not the bottom crust. You're not living in poverty. So you can't think with a poor man's mindset. You already have reached out of where you were and have changed your narrative. You can't think as the rich man because you don't sit on top of a pedestal with money reaming out of your pocket or in control of some type of systematic organization or institution. So only thing you know is what you have worked from and have the ability to work to. So you'll see things that other people don't see. So when they do the little sleight of hand thing, your eyes are a little bit more open. Because instead of looking over here, over there, you're looking down the middle. You're looking straight down the barrel of the gun. So you can see the smoke when it comes. So that's the issue. That's a big issue of how the people in the middle are the ones that whose votes really don't count for anything. Because when you're a middle person, you're not helping anything in the system. You're not helping to push any narrative into the system because you have no horse in the race. You don't have a politician or government certain standard that says that I'm poverty stricken, so I need this to go in my direction for me to make it better. And there's people that feed on that. Poverty pimps, poverty hustlers. And you're not rich enough to say, hey, you know what? I can save money doing this, or I can make sure I'm financially stable for the rest of my life if I do it this way. So you're not the upper grade poupon of the world, if you will. So for all of us in the middle, you know where I'm coming from. If you want to reach out, 501-259-6788. My line is always open, 501-259-6788. I want somebody's opinion on this. How do you really think? What do you really think about this? How do you actually feel about this situation? Because I know the people in the middle, me, teachers, construction workers, there are everyday laborers that are in this middle pot. And not to be funny, we're what makes America go. We do the 9 to 5. Nobody cares about that. We do the 9 to 5 and work our butt off. That's what I don't understand. How we keep getting lost in the shuffle. You got those who are in poverty who, yes, they need help. I understand that. I'm never going to. I want to preface my whole statement on this situation by saying this. I'm never dissing anybody in poverty. I came from nothing. I'm not dissing somebody that got money. They work towards that goal. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the point of the middle. My point of the middle is I'm somebody that's in the middle. For a long time, I voted Democrat. Long time I voted Democrat because I was poverty stricken and I was told that if you're broke or if you're that type of person, you vote Democrat. But then as I got older, I started noticing that I didn't fit that description anymore. I didn't fit in that little area. And so it wasn't in my best interest to vote Democrat because I wasn't getting anything from the government that counted. I wasn't getting any help for me. I wasn't getting any help for my children we needed. That wasn't what was going on. I had to get my butt out there and work for it. And once I started to work for it, then Everybody goes, you should vote Republican. No, I didn't want to go that route either because I didn't have any money. People goes, well, how do you associate those different characteristics and ideology with that type of government? For some odd reason, my podcast was just shut down. Said for some type of violation I did. So now if y'all don't believe me about being in the middle, you should now. So if you're seeing this, that means you're watching the second part of the podcast. I'll refresh on you. The first part was talking about the middle, about how if you're not at the top or not at the bottom, that no one really cares about what your situation is. And that those of us in the middle speak a lot of truth and realism because we understand that we're doing too much to get help and we're doing too less to be rich. That's all I'll say on that. If you want to see what I actually said on that, go to part 1. And I'm actually going to connect the videos together. I'll probably have to edit them to make one whole video out of it. But part 1 was speaking on that. And now the part I'm on now is I was talking about looking out for each other, basically. I was talking about how no one supports anyone as far as making sure that you do the lookout. Everybody that's out here doing their thing, that's looking out for others, are the ones that are being more successful. Don't believe it? Do the research. It's a karma thing. It's a good feeling thing. Whenever you take a group of people to create something, it works better because you're not having to house in everything yourself or do everything by yourself. It's a group doing it together. And for the fact that we have a lot of people out here that won't support each other, it costs nothing to support someone. It costs nothing to send a shout out. It costs nothing to post a video or post a link. It costs nothing to say, hey, I know that person. Unless you're the type of person who's so scared that someone's going to succeed over you. One of your main goals in making it is to teach someone else what you did. One of your main goals of making it is to help someone else step up so they can make it. I am so fed up with seeing people sit out here and complain about how they're not able to make it. But think about it. When you have a chance to make it, you don't help anyone else make it. So why would you be able to step over the line? And it goes back to the middle. If someone on the top crust helps someone at the bottom, they get love and respect for that. Oh, you brought them out of poverty. Oh, you're such a saint. Look what you did. But if you help someone that's at the top already, they can sprinkle a little bit more down on top of you to help you look even better. But when you're in the middle, nobody cares about what you're doing. Not many podcasters, how many barbers, how many sole proprietor businesses have put in the work and effort and don't get any level of respect. They'll put your posters up for your concerts in their store. They'll help you bump discounts and stuff on free clothing, free merchandise. They'll shout your name out. They'll sell your tickets for you. They'll pump your shows. They'll comp you clothing, hairdos, work on vehicles, all kind of stuff. But you don't ever once put their name out there. Before I got cut off, I was in a store with my cousin Bobby Williams, Divine Creations, Barber Shop in Davenport. Bobby went to pay a bill. Do you know when Bobby went to pay this bill, the guy got on the phone and heard Bobby's name and got to talking? This guy was all the way down in Kentucky. He knew who Bobby was. Because some guy came through town, got a haircut at Bobby's barber shop, and stated that it was one of the best cuts he ever got in his life. This guy didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do none of that. But what it was he got hooked up by this barber who gave him a card. So instead of putting the card in his wallet and not saying anything else, he decided to let everybody know where he got his cut at. He decided to let them know who this guy was that cut his hair. Word of mouth. Do you know what kind of shock my cousin got when he got on that phone call? I wish I could dig that call right now and replay it for you, but I didn't get permission from him to do so. But his voice was, he just gave a little giggle like, you from where? And the guy told me, he says, what a coincidence. That is so crazy. That this guy that did not know my cousin gave him a shout out, and now people somewhere else know who he is. That's because the guy was looking out not for his own interests, but he saw someone with a skill and a talent and decided to help this person get on. Y'all can call me bitter or whatever, but that is a big issue right now. There's people out all the time want you to pump them all the time, but will not return a favor to you. Hey man, mention me and shoot me out, shout me out. Hey man, can you post my stuff on this? Can you say this, say that? Yeah, I will. Can you return the favor? Can you share a reel? Can you share a broadcast? Can't let people know what time I come on? It takes just one person. It takes just one person to help you get on. But we are so selfish out here. It's a me. And see what goes on, like me, I have no backing. I do everything by myself. That's no disrespect to nobody else. But I've been blessed to do this on my own. Camera, phones, green lights, green screen, all that. Sometimes I do things that maybe aren't conventional. Like I said, this is the second half of my video. The first 20 minutes I got popped and they took it down. It's still there. If you go on my YouTube or Facebook, it's still there. But it got cut because I guess I said or did the wrong thing. But I'm speaking truth. Here in the brew shop, the last sip, y'all know how I get down. We don't spill tea, but we brew the realness. That's why I create this platform, so I can say what I want to say, how I want to say it. Shout out to you, Rez. Shout out to you, bro. And this is the point that I want to get at. Is that we've got to sit back and understand that if we help each other, we get further, we get more. It ain't just about you doing what you got to do and making it. There's other people behind you looking at you like, how did he do that? They don't want to take your spot. They don't want your cheese. They just want to nibble on their own slice. They don't want yours. And for the fact that they would, even you don't ask, here's how you know people got love for you. When you don't ask them to do it, they do it. We don't ask them to post your reel. We don't ask them to post your spot. You don't ask them to shout an address. You don't ask them to shout a phone number. You don't ask them to share a live feed. None of that. And they just do it. That's because they have respect and love for you. They don't want nothing from you. They have respect and love. But if you see they doing something, do the same. That's one thing I can't stand. And here's the thing that's so crazy. When I attempted to do the professional wrestling, a lot of y'all don't know that, but I attempted to do professional wrestling. When I couldn't do it any longer, I called a friend for a guy I knew that was interested in doing it. I wasn't getting nothing out of it, but I saw the young man's potential. So I called a guy to see if I could hook these two up. It's because I saw that he was able to do something. It only took one person to try to get him on. That's what I'm saying. You got connections, and you know somebody trying to do something, help them out, because you might help them out of their situation. You don't know you've been blessed to help them. Come on, let's keep it 100 right now. We got to start looking out for people, man. This world is already jacked up as it is. You see someone out here trying to do their thing, help them. Look out for them. Give them a hand. Don't be just another crab in the barrel, crab in the bucket when you get up and you don't want to help nobody up. If y'all saw the Club Shay Shay interview with Godfrey, I'm not going to say what he said, but he said we win nothing. He said that, and he said the poo-poo word. You know exactly what I'm talking about. He said how he noticed how certain cultures, when they make it and take people with them or teach people below them how to do it to get better. Not with us. When one of us, when we step up, forget everybody below us. Because I've been through that, I'm not going through it again. I got mine. I make sure I got to keep mine on top. And that's how we got into the situation with Diddy and Puffy them. Yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but it goes all back. That's how we got in this situation. Because it was some people that got on top, wanted to stay on top, and they made people do stuff they didn't need to be doing, or made people do stuff that was wrong, so they can get in that spot instead of just hooking them up.